Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to be showing the Trend 2 with the shine knocked off. Most of the time the out-of-box surface for any ball is harsh and needs to be adjusted to give you the best reaction. Bowler's Mart, CoolWick, Storm, Turbo, Roto-Grip bowling balls for sale, and Royal Crest lanes in Lawrence, Kansas all make these videos happen. Remember my code Rosdahl10 for 10% off any order at CoolWick, and find all things SPI in addition to used, rare, and overseas on SRGBBFS on Facebook. We're starting here with the T2 the way it came out of the box. I'm a big fan of factory shine typically, however it's gotten extra glossy in the last couple of years, and the ball either needs to have the shine knocked off, the surface reset, or just given a chance to break in. There's a breaking or settling in period for everything we buy. It's all fresh and crisp, and I can remember the great lengths that my dad would go to on a new baseball glove of mine or his to break it in and loosen it up before we ever used it. Bowling balls are no different, and most of the time the finish or surface is more for presentation or display in the pro shop anyway. Having balls that dull or that glossy are rarely, if ever, going to be beneficial for ball reaction, and the majority of people I know break the shine or reset the surface of the ball before they ever drill it. I typically choose to let use break it in, mostly because for the videos I put 10 to 15 games on a ball during filming, so it's going to get broken in during that process anyway, and I want to show how it reacts out of the box because that's how most people will experience it. They get it drilled and go out and throw it, just naturally assuming that the way it comes is the way the company intends it to be. To a certain degree it is, but shiny stuff is usually glossier than it needs to be because that makes it pretty, and sanded stuff is usually duller because these two things also give you an easy visual indicator of what the ball is all about. Shiny says skid flip, dull says smooth traction, but most of the time the shiny stuff is really quick and somewhat over-under, while the dull stuff is really chewy and just too early for several games. Surface is really simple. The duller the ball is, the earlier, stronger, and smoother it's going to be, and the shinier it is, the longer, weaker, or sharper it's going to be. But ball design and cover formula plays into it a lot. Remember my classroom video about cover formulas, so naturally even shiny or dull, there's a lot of variation within. Balls like the Parallax that come shiny are still really smooth, while balls like the UC2 are crazy sharp. But if you add surface to a Parallax, it's going to get even earlier and smoother than it already is. There's no magic to it. It's really predictable. You shouldn't ever be unsure about how a surface change is going to affect the ball, and how much surface or shine you need is going to be up to you and what you need. That's really the only question, and it's not something that I can answer. I usually recommend trying the ball first out of the box so you know which direction you need to go. I actually prefer use and lane shine to tame the ball down, but some people prefer starting out from a neutral place so they have a certain surface they reset every ball to so that they can get a truer read on the reaction and actual differences between balls. If you compare a shiny ball to a dull ball, you might not get that great of a read on how they really compare because surface is a big component of ball reaction. In the case of the Trend 2, I just took it to 3000 on a spinner with a fresh wet Abralon pad. When I take the shine off of a fresh ball, I usually use an Abralon pad. If I have a lane shined ball that I've used, I generally use Reactive Scuff because it gets it to about 3000, plus it's got cleaner in it and can get the belt marks and dirt off in addition. I find 3000 to be a good place to start from. 4000 usually doesn't break the shine enough, and 2000 is typically too rough. 3000 still lets the reaction be while easing the hard edge of the polish. On the Trend 2, it does just that. We haven't fundamentally changed anything about the reaction, we just made it blend the pattern a little better so it's not so sharp on the friction and not as long in the oil. Now whether that's better or not is up to you. I don't like fresh surface period, whether it's shiny or dull. I like stuff after about 5 games of use. That's usually what it takes to start settling in for me. With polish on the ball, it's usually not going to give you forgiveness on friction, and the Trend 2 is pretty sharp, so when it gets going, it goes. Now this gives you great confidence in ball reaction though. This isn't a ball you'll have to try to help do anything, but this will settle it down if it's a little too sharp or over-under for you. I'd still recommend trying it the way it comes and just getting some games on it, but if you don't get a chance to practice much, it can take a few league sets to get it broken in, and you may not want to burn a couple weeks on that. The absolute dumbest thing you can do is spend a couple $100 on a ball, throw it for a couple games at one center on one condition with the surface it came at, and form an opinion. I don't know how many balls I see for sale in different groups saying the ball has 2 or 3 games on it and that it sucks or they didn't match up with it. There's a lot of things you can do and try, and even the smallest thing like breaking the shine can take a ball from not fitting to full-time use. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.